Dear colleagues, dear distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizing committee of the International Conference dedicated to the 120th anniversary of Alexander Oparin, I declare the conference on the problem of the origin of life open. For all of us working in the Moscow Art Institute of Biochemistry, this is a great day and an exceptional event. And not only because Alexander Oparin was one of the founders of our institute, not only because he served as the director of the institute for very many decades, but mainly because our institute, especially during its 30 years, was very tightly associated with the problem of the origin of life and contributed substantially to the development of this now flourishing and vast area of science. More than 90 years have passed since Alexander Oparin, still a very young man at that time, formulated the basics of his now famous theory. We could not only be surprised by his courage and scientific vision, as actually biology, as we now know it, did not exist at that time. However, Oparin managed to construct a logically coherent and inclusive theory based on a set of very simple assumptions. His theory had a great impact both on natural sciences and philosophical aspects of the 20th century science. Of course, new facts and observations emerge, new explanations and theories are provided. However, the cornerstones of the Oparin theory are not disputed and regarded as integral part of contemporary views on how the life emerged on our Earth. It is always difficult to be the first, to make the first step, to break the rules. And it was Oparin who was the first who took courage to tackle from the scientific point of view one of the most intriguing and philosophical problems ever formulated by humans: how the life had begun. And this only attempt, a rather successful one by the way, places him in a pantheon of the 20th century greatest scientists for providing a foundation for understanding early molecular evolution. Oparin, by sure, belongs to the outstanding cohort of the world-famous Russian biologists of the end of the 19th, beginning of the 20th century, such as Sechenov, Menshnikov, and Popov. As an intelligent man, Oparin was a multifaceted personality. He was one of the founders of the Russian School of Biochemistry that formed a solid basis for the research in various areas of life sciences in this country. He also contributed decisively to initiation of practically and technologically oriented biochemical studies in the Soviet Union. Food industry, wine and beef fermentation, vitamin industry, these are just few areas to mention that was of interest to him. Oparin was also an outstanding teacher and popularizer of scientific knowledge, and was well known both as an organizer of science and a public figure. Among his friends and contacts, we could find such outstanding personalities and scientists and public figures, like, for example, scientist and public figure John Bernal, controversial painter Salvatore Dali, and the famous Russian tenor Ivan Kozlovsky, who was a friend of his family. Oparin enjoyed a long and successful academic career. He was awarded with all the possible titles and decorations of the Soviet Union. It would be right to say that Oparin, especially in his late days, patriarch-looking with his constant bow tie, was one of the icons of the great Soviet science of that time. He was also widely acknowledged and respected worldwide. As an outstanding example of his contribution to the world's scientific heritage is the Oparin Gold Medal, established already during Oparin's lifetime. That is an unprecedented case. This medal is awarded by the ISRO, the organizations that he co-founded with a number of other outstanding scientists. Our conference is a tribute to Alexander Oparin, a great man and an outstanding scientist, a tribute to his scientific courage and vision embodied in his theory of the origin of life. The conference assembled people from 10 countries and 4 continents, and that is a sincere proof of the contribution Alexander Oparin made to the world science. The conference was preceded by a workshop for young scientists that also attracted a lot of interest. And this means that the area of science that Oparin was one of the co-founders awaits a bright future. That its area is vibrant and live, and by sure we will enjoy new developments and new ideas from a new generation of researchers. Let me express confidence that our meeting will promote new as well as facilitate already existing scientific contacts. I also hope that the participants for the first time in Moscow will enjoy the city in spite of the rainy weather. Sorry, it's one of the few problems that we couldn't fix for you. However, it shouldn't be an obstacle not to enjoy traditional Russian hospitality. So, on behalf of the organizers, I wish the conference a successful and fruitful one. Thank you.